Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 10th anniversary show of Sports Journal. We're live at Howlin' Miles in downtown Jackson as we close out the '93 season, Clay Hall.
We are indeed. We're joined by a cast of hundreds, including Sports Journal music director Raphael Sims and the Sports Journal Scalpers.
Right.
Rap, what do you got for me, babe?
Well, you know, we're the Scalpers. That's our day job, and I got a couple here for that Alabama bowl game. I can't get rid of them. I figured better one.
No, I'd heard
Thank you,
about
sir. Rap will be serenading us through our 45-minute journey here tonight, so sit back and relax as we first jog your memory banks. My colleague, Mr. Fiddler, has spent the last, at least a couple of months compiling the most memorable moments of this show, so let's take that stroll down memory lane.
The Odyssey began nearly 10 years ago, August 26th, 1984, when the very first Sports Journal hit the air.
Good evening, I'm Michael Rubenstein. Welcome to the maiden voyage of Sports Journal.
And I'm Clay Hall. Sports Journal is a product of a beefed-up sports staff. We think it will give you a more and better product. We also have a chance to go in depth, and we might even get a bit opinionated, something Michael has never been afraid to do.
Since then, the look of Sports Journal has changed. From that garish set on the first show, it changed through the years and evolved to the current look of 1993. The guests and stories on the show over the past 10 years are too numerous to mention, but some of the notables. Mississippi's winningest high school football coach, Lum Wright, appeared on the show September 8th, 1985.
I love my work, and God be my witness, I'm going to get those 300 wins. That's what I want to do. If I can get them in Port Gibson, Mississippi, fine and dandy.
Coach Lum got his 300th at Port Gibson against Crystal Springs 6 years later. He retired last year with 316 wins. And there's only one Will Clark.
He simply has taken over press conferences in the past. He has his chance now on the set of Sports Journal.
I dare you to take control of this show.
Well, we'll see what we can do.
And perhaps the greatest player who never was, Marcus Dupree.
I don't know what happened. Next thing I know, they're talking about passing the ball.
Are you bitter toward the Rams for cutting you?
Not really. I'm just kind of disappointed.
And the inimitable Jerry Clower.
Shoot this thing.
Archie Cooley had his memorable Sports Journal moments.
No, you're not. I'm good, and I'm just back. You know, I told you that once before, that I'll be back. And you said I wouldn't. I'm back.
And longtime Tiger, W.C. Gordon.
Well, I think about quarterbacks the same as I do about women. I'm a one man, one woman, one quarterback person.
And the show's only female guest, bodybuilder Debbie McKnight. Some of the bigger stories over the years, Valley's 1984 SWAC-busting Delta Devils.
It's a football team that's mean and green. Who we're talking about?
When Arkansas Pine Bluff coach Archie Cooley and his team returned to the Valley in September of 1987 and were 20 minutes late for the kickoff.
It's appalling, and it's a shame that he come up here to Mississippi Valley State University, where he used to coach at, and try to put a stunt on like that.
The Billy Brewer-Jackie Sherrill feud.
He's just an habitual liar.
MC winning, then being stripped of the national title. And of course, who could forget the saga of Wild Willie? Sports Journal has even outlasted several coaches.
At any time that Mississippi State folks don't want me as their coach, they won't take them a red dog minute, partner.
I'm proud of what we've done. We worked as hard as we possibly could. You know, there's nothing else I could have done.
But right now, it looked like it's a fire syndrome in the state of Mississippi. And, you know, looked like it's one at Alcorn. Whitney, then myself.
Not all the memories have been happy ones. We were all touched by the courage of Chucky Mullins and the tragic deaths of Mississippi State's Rodney Stowers, Valley's Darrell Cox, JSU's Robert Turner, and Millsap's Bradley Dew. There have been lighter moments, like this post-game pep talk by then Millsap's head coach Harper Davis in 1988.
This team has got heart. Man, somebody quit, man.
When a Prairie View assistant accused Alcorn head coach Cardell Jones of running it up.
We won't be down all the time. I'll tell you something, passing that ball with 55 points up, we're not going to be down all the time. You understand? I just want you to know, Cordell. I just want you to understand, we won't be down all the time. We're going to run 100 points on your ass when we get a chance.
And who can ever forget when Shaq sings?
Sports Journal has hit an all-time low.
Let's hear it, baby.
Yay, Alabama, drown 'em tide.
Yes, 10 years makes for a lot of memories. Here's to the ones we have and the ones still to come.
Who better to recollect with than 7-year veteran of the show and whose name has been synonymous with the Mississippi sports scene for 15 years, former WLBT sports director Michael Rubenstein. Come on up, Rube. Where are you? There he is. I want a high five.
And he still remembers how to put on that mic.
The one thing I couldn't help but notice in the tape was that I've aged so much better than you fellows have.
I knew that was coming. What made you think this show could work?
I really wasn't sure at the time. I knew that we were producing a lot of product. We had Dave, Clay, Don Cash, and myself, and everybody was producing. We were producing stories that weren't getting on the air. We're finishing stories that weren't making it. And I also wanted to have some place to put you fellows on some more, because I felt that if we did that, you wouldn't leave. And I felt that was important. If you looked around at the other stations, that people were coming and going, and I felt one thing that would help keep it going. And the other thing was that it helped me, the third reason that I thought was important, that every one of those Saturdays and Sundays that I worked, I got vacation time in January to leave the country.
Now it comes out.
And so that had something to do with it, too.
Rube, 100 plus shows you did here, 7+ years. There's got to be many moments. What stands out? What few moments stand out?
There really aren't any. These things help me remember more than I had remembered before. When you work so many days for so long, when you work roughly 4 months at a stretch without taking any time off, it all becomes a blur. I used to say if you could just get to October, then somehow it was all downhill from there. But you'd have 3 or 4 days off in the middle of August to the 1st of December, and so it really all kind of runs together.
You always said you were a reporter covering a beat, and you did it with an edge. In fact, Michael occasionally, this may surprise you, got under the skin of his sources. In fact, we've got a sample of that here as Michael quizzed some local coaches on job security. Here's the Rube.
Your athletic director has been pretty candid about LSU fans' expectations and the fact that he feels that they expect national championships and haven't been receiving it. Do you feel that that your job is in jeopardy at all?
Mike, no, I don't feel my job's in jeopardy. I really think you're out of line by asking something like that.
And I don't worry about being fired. I'm sorry, but I'm 60 years old and I've been in the retirement system a long time. Does that satisfy you? I'm ready today, huh?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Rob J. with us tonight as well. Rob, what you got for us? You're going to quiz the Rube even better.
Yeah, you know, I never did get a chance to work with Michael, and the question I have, Michael, what's your most memorable moment on Sports Journal?
I really don't have one. I can't, again, it all tended to blur together. I do recall after that great Valley Alcorn game in 1984 that we had both coaches that came on the show afterwards, and that was a really big moment, I think, in Mississippi sports, to put 60,000 plus people out there, 2 schools that together maybe had 4,500, 5,000 students, to televise that and to have that degree of association with the game and to have it continue after the broadcast. I thought was very important.
And Archie Cooley was a part of that, and
sure.
After he left the Valley, you know, I ripped him a little bit for gutting the program, and here's his comment saying he made us and he did some things for you, and a little clever bit I thought was your introduction of the cowboy hat. You took mine back, but yours looks mighty good. Archie Cooley has been a real lightning rod for this state, hasn't he?
Absolutely, and I think he's in large respect has put the SWAC on the map. Say what you will about Archie Cooley and all that sandlot ball. The next thing I did, I looked around and Bill Walsh was running those 3 trips, those 3 wide receivers out to the left too. So I think he had a real, I think he was a man ahead of his time. His mouth was certainly ahead of his time.
Before we go, everybody asks, what's Rube doing now? And you're in the Hall of Fame project. Tell us a little bit about it. Where's it going?
Sure. We're doing very well to this point. We've raised about $2 million. The Mississippi Sports Foundation, which is a private nonprofit umbrella group that's designed to establish and operate a Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame and Museum. Mississippi is a state that's kicked around for a lot of things, and we're 49th in this and 50th in the other. but this is something we succeed in. We're nationally prominent in the number and caliber of coaches and players and teams and athletic moments that we have produced. And we want to build a facility, a 21,000 square foot museum that will pay tribute to this one area that we are nationally prominent in. We don't take a back seat to anybody when it comes to our sports legacies.
Rube, no question, with you in charge, the job will get done. Thanks for joining us tonight.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We'll have more coming up. Stay with us.
My pleasure.
Welcome back. Thank you. Welcome back to the show. During 10 years of Sports Journal, Mississippi has seen its share of Heisman candidates. USM's Brett Favre and Reggie Collier come to mind, as does Mississippi State's Don Smith, Clay.
And now Alcorn's Steve McNair has emerged as one of the most exciting players nationwide. McNair has captured the hearts of fans, and both young and old, including a 7th grader from Powell Middle School who demonstrates in her poem entitled Ode to McNair.
Ode to McNair. Steve is bad, as we all can see. He throws the ball so hard, it looks like a BB. When the Braves are down, they don't despair, because they got one bad dude in Steve McNair. He darts, he dodges, and plays with such flair. He has entire defenses reaching for air. He plays with style, grace, and beauty. Winning football games is his ultimate duty. When Mac goes pro, don't be sad. There are many Tiger fans who will be ever so glad.
Joining us now to discuss just how sad Tiger fans will be is Alcorn's award-winning quarterback. Let's give it up for Steve Air McNair.
Looking good, baby. Turn his mic up. Get him a little higher there. Steve, everybody wants to know that it's been the question rumored for weeks now. What are you going to do? You coming out? Are you going to stay? Where are you in that decision process?
Well, I made my decision at the time, but there was a new committee that had been did by the NFL, and we have to wait and see that what they said for me in order to stay or go.
It's an information-seeking source for you that you can get some idea.
Yes, it'll let you know the ideal of where you go into the draft. That's what we're waiting on right now.
What's the deadline on that?
January 6th.
Steve, I know it's a tough decision for you, but my question to you is, what do you have left to prove at Alcorn? You've got 2.5 SWAC titles. You've established school passing records and total offense records. What is left for you to do in Norman?
I don't think it's not right. At this point, there's nothing else I can do alone, but just, stay there and get my education at that point.
Steve, I know a lot of people were saying that if you had gone to a bigger school, no doubt you would win the Heisman. Do you regret going to Alcorn? Do you sometimes think about, I should have gone to a bigger school?
Well, there's a lot of people that told me, if I would go to Florida State, I would win the Heisman, regardless, But, I'm glad I made the decision to go to Alcorn. Alcorn done great for me, and hopefully I can continue doing what I'm doing.
We got people here with stickers and tomahawks. Are you surprised by your folk hero status? I mean, white, black, it doesn't matter. Everybody knows about Air McNair. You say you've gotten on planes in Minnesota and Michigan, and they say, "Are you the air guy?" How has that struck you?
It's great. Once I made the decision to go to Alcorn, I didn't realize, the position I was being in right now. It's a great surprise, I'm just glad to be in the position I am right now.
This is similar to what Rob just asked you. If you had gone to another school, looking back, do you think you would have had a better shot at the Heisman Trophy?
Well, yes, that's definitely, most definitely. I think, they get more recognition than what I'm getting at Alcorn right now. It's built, just outright. If I would have went to Florida State, I would win the Heisman, no doubt.
How do you avoid the agents? That's what I want to know. And what are you hearing from people on the inside about your marketability as a pro?
Well, it's a lot of people telling me that, you know, I can come out this year and be a possible first-round draft choice, but that's a decision I have to make about if I'd rather come out or not. Agent-wise, you know, I just, you know, just listen to what all they have to say, you know, just pick out the best one that I think will be best for me.
But don't sign with them until you're ready, right?
That's
Antonio
right.
Lang found that out.
That's right.
Well, Steve McNair, we've all been thrilled watching you play. We know you're going to be playing on Sundays in the near future. Best of luck. Thanks for joining us today.
And we're going to be the first ones to know, right?
That's right.
How long are you going to hold this thing out, you think?
Just as soon as the committee just announced how, you know, I go into the draft or not. You know, how far down the line I go in the draft.
Steve McNair, we'll be back with more SportsJournal. Right?
Welcome back to SportsJournal. Just a week removed from its biggest win of the year, Mississippi State certainly gave its fans something to remember 1993 by a home field win over arch rival Ole Miss to close the season.
Yeah. And Clay, we're joined tonight by two of the architects of that ego-boosting Egg Bowl victory. Please welcome Bulldog quarterback Todd Jordan and defensive lineman Herman Carroll. Come on up, guys.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Thanks, guys, for making the trip down from Starkville. I know this trophy you brought down with you made that trip seem a little shorter tonight.
I didn't tell him to bring that. What's he doing?
Todd, I'm going to start with you. We've got some tape of your high school career. You were one of the most highly recruited quarterbacks coming out of high school. You chose Mississippi State. Tell us about that decision.
Well, Mississippi State's a place that I've always grown up as. It's a place that I grew up as a kid and watched Mississippi State throughout high school and my junior high. And, it's just a place I thought at the time was best for me.
Any regrets? I mean, it was an up and down career. You played as a freshman, then redshirted, and Jackie brings in the option. You don't play much, and you close out your senior season and get some respect and attract some NFL scouts. Any regrets?
No regrets. I mean, anytime a big name person comes out of high school, they're not necessarily going to have a great college career, but I was down at one time in college, and I ended up good, so that's good for me and my family.
Did you expect to be the savior at Mississippi State?
Well, not exactly. I just wanted to go in and do what's the best I could do, and I think that happened this past year.
Here you are as a freshman and playing early. What was the decision to redshirt you and kind of interrupt your career the next year?
Well, we changed offenses my second year, and like we did 4 times during my career, so I never really got a chance to get to know one offense for a couple of years, except Coach Brown's offense, and that was an option-type offense. But the reason why I was redshirted was I didn't learn the system as quick and didn't pick up on what we were doing offensively.
You picked it up there, I guess, okay.
Well, I couldn't miss.
Rob J., somewhere in the audience, had a question for Herman Carroll.
Right over here with fans from Mississippi State, and my question is to Herman Carroll. Now, in one game this year against South Carolina State, you pulled out the hair of Steve Tannehill. Do you regret doing that?
Of course not.
We have the pictures of that. Roll that if you can. You made a point to yank some of it. You said the kid needs a haircut or what?
No, it was more of a challenge, a personal challenge, because he talks a lot of stuff, you know, and I just wanted to let him know that I didn't appreciate it.
What did the Egg Bowl win mean to you? Is it better not to hear from the Ole Miss fans or not to hear from your own fans why you didn't win? What is the impact of that victory?
I really don't care for Ole Miss fans too much, but it meant a lot to me as far as winning for our fans, you know.
Yeah, now this is to both of you guys. We just saw a clip of the Polish rifle just a minute ago. Tell us about this guy, Herman. What's his story? There he is, the Polish rifle. Was going to start the Alabama game, of course Todd started. What's this guy like? Seems to be a really crazy kind of guy.
Yeah, he's our scout team quarterback, so I get to practice, against him all the time. And he has a good throwing arm. He's kind of pudgy, but...
Look at Jordan looking at
Now, what does that look about there, Todd?
I can't really remember it. I guess I was looking at the game, and he was probably over there whining or something, wondering if he was going to get in the game, and he was over there continuously the whole Alabama game. What I do if I go in and what I do on this play or that play, and I guess I was just trying to explain something.
Before we go, Jackie Sherrill has created a lot of enthusiasm among Mississippi State people. What about his psychological ploys? We read about him, we hear about him. Is this guy off the wall? What kind of approach, how do you view that?
Well, I wouldn't say he was off the wall, but he is just a very good coach, and he used different techniques, such as psychological things, and brings in some people that he's known during the past, some psychologists that talk to us about winning and to be motivated and such things as that. And he's unlike any other coach I've ever played for, but I'd say he's an outstanding coach.
Did you witness the Wild Willie episode?
Yes, on the front row.
You had to see it.
I had to see it.
Guys, time is running short. They're telling us we got to get out. I appreciate you both coming down. Congratulations on the win. Todd, Jordan, thank you very much, and good luck in the draft to both of you. We'll be back with more Sports Journal right after this.
Thanks, Todd.
And now your opinions on Mr. David Duckett.
David Duckett, he's a very nice guy. And,
No, you can tell the truth.
Where is he?
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome back to the 10th anniversary show of Sports Journal.
And one of the questions we've heard over the last few years is, what happened to Dave Duckett? Well, we can answer that inquiry by giving you Dave's past and his present.
Sometimes the sporting world is filled with troubled waters. Put yourself above the deep, dark liquids of the lake and fly over to the lighter side, where foul is always fair. Birds of many feathers will tell you to come to the long-awaited oasis of fickle fans. You're all invited to Duck's Corner.
It's my last day at work, so I did what I wanted to do. What are they going to do, fire me?
They'll edit this. Man, they just cut. They'll make it look really good, believe me.
Jimmy, baby, you're gonna make it, Jimmy. You're gonna make it. You got to get the flag, Duckbo. Go for it now.
WLBT artists present Duckbo, an apocalypse in a little while, starring Duckbo as himself.
I thought Sports Journal was great. We used to get free T-shirts and those little bags. Remember that Papa's Got a Brand New Bag thing we used to do? Got to interview Hulk Hogan.
The Hulk got his history a little out of kilter and lost his mean demeanor when corrected.
He says that's the guy in the Bible that held them pillars apart for years. He's the guy that could hold back a whole chariot.
I believe that's Samson, isn't it? That's
well,
Samson.
it could be, man, but it's not.
Yeah, right.
Who was the writer we did a story on? What the hell was his name?
That's the first
time. Would you like to go to Duck's Corner? Would you like to be there?
Yeah, I imagine I would. I don't know.
Oh, Roy Blount Jr. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Never believe everything you see on TV.
I interviewed myself once, that's right, after trying out as the football player.
Well, Dave, the scouts weren't too impressed, and frankly, you were terrible. You know, the sun was in my eyes. You saw that. The wind changed directions twice on me. The new shoe I had, I really didn't have that much feeling.
Well, we got to wear tuxedos once a year free of charge. That was great. I mean, to get out of the place, I had to quit. My last day was a lot of fun. Got to smoke cigars on Frank Melton's desk and just to basically abuse everyone who was above me because I didn't care if I got fired. I mean, I was quitting anyway.
It's been fun, but I'm out of here.
Oh. I live in Gakuge Daigaku, if I said it right. I'm not sure. My Japanese is horrendous. Oh, this is my home. Quick look at my house. It's not too big. My suggestion is to put it through the TVC and make it go really fast, okay? So, started from hitchhiking from here. I tried to count them last night. I think I've been to 47 countries. I'm not sure. Every continent except for Africa, and this includes Antarctica. A little trip down there with the Chileno army, you pay them off. Pinochet's no longer dictator, so I can't get in trouble for saying that. Haven't been thrown in jail. Back there, back there, back there, back there, back there, and that's where I am now. Yeah, oh, I have a daughter. My daughter's the love of my life. That's my whole life is based around her. She's been to 18 countries so far. She's lived in Amsterdam, in Tokyo, in Costa Rica, in Boston, and she spends plenty of time in Austria. That's where her mother's from. So she gets around a bit. Her name is Diu. Oh, jobs I've had. Let's see. I've bartended. I've picked bananas. I sold edible underwear. Swear to God, that was in Melbourne. Yeah, I worked in Amsterdam for a while. Wrote for KLM magazines. Let's see, in Tokyo, I write for SportsJournal.
I met David Duckett when he walked into my room one day in the worst suit I think I've ever seen anybody wearing, and immediately sees me in jeans and starts apologizing for wearing a suit.
It's quite similar, actually, SportsJournal and WLBT. It's the class act of the city, top ratings, highest seller, and probably the most immature.
He's a good writer.
Yeah, they might do that.
Dave is a good writer.
Right.
I would describe Dave Duckett as a cross between Hunter S. Thompson and Mickey Mouse.
This guy's an idiot. He's perfect for SportsJournal.
I know, it's fine. They'll edit this. Man, they just cut. They'll make it look really good, believe me.
We tried to make it really good. I'm joined now by the satellite Willie Totten and former WLBT sports photographer Don Cash, who spent a lot of his time with Duck Bow. Was this guy a genius, or was he crazy?
He was a psycho, and he just got 4.5 minutes, and he lives in Japan, and I live here, and I'm going to get, what, 30 seconds, Clay?
Well, I'm going to give you more than 30.
Okay, all right.
You were also there when Satellite threw the ball to Joe Thomas at Itabeen in 1985. I think we got the tape. That became a famous Sports Journal moment. Did you know at the time that it was going to be so?
I had no earthly idea. I shot it. I don't remember shooting it. Somebody picked it out. Must have been Rube. Somebody picked it out and said, "Oh, this is great. This is wonderful." And you know, but I watched the other night when Jerry Clower was on. I got a big kick because Jerry at the end of the show said, "Oh, let's watch the guy hit the trailer. It's my favorite part." So it's nice to have been remembered, and you know, to have been the guy who really made Willie Totten and Jerry Rice famous, and Joe Thomas.
That's exactly right. Willie, did you lead him into the truck? That's the question I've always wanted to know.
Yes, I did. No, actually, it was an accident. It was an accident.
He banged into the thing, made a huge thud. I was there with Don. He got right back up. You knew he was a tough guy.
Sure, because he knew he had to practice on that to go across the middle on the opposing defenses.
But you didn't run Jerry into the truck, did you?
No, Jerry was kind of special.
Willie Totten, Don Cash, thank you very much. We're back with more Sports Journal right after this. Welcome back to Sports Journal. Just a few moments left for a little observation here. Greg Shackelford has joined us. He shot 150,000 games this year. Any observation, Shaq?
Well, the one that really stands out is the one that just happened a couple nights ago. South Panola Warren Central has to be one of the best high school football games I have seen ever. You go back to last year's Egg Bowl, that was another great memory, a good game.
Your eyes.
Last year's, of course.
Your eye's been in that earpiece. You've been a one-man band for us, and I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for your contribution. Rob J., what's going on? Anything that stands out over the last 3 years or 10 years?
Yeah, the thing that stands out to me is when I first got here at Sports Journal, the year after that, I picked Alcorn to win the SWAC, and they did it. And then I picked Mississippi State to beat Ole Miss in the Egg Bowl.
I'll tell you one thing.
Go ahead.
He's a prognosticator. What can we say? One thing that stands out was that 87 Valley Pine Bluff game when Cooley came back. It was the first time I'd ever seen a team penalized for delay a game before the kickoff. 20 minutes late was the only game Valley won that year. But anyway, that kind of stands out.
A lot of Sunday nights, that's what I remember. But it's been a lot of fun and really a labor of love to kick this thing out every week. It's been a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. And it's time to go. It's been a blast. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. We want to thank the good folks at Howland Mouse for having us and their hospitality tonight.
A heartfelt thanks to everyone who helps put this show on the air in front of and behind the camera.
And, of course, to TV3 executives Frank Melton and General Manager Dan Modisette, who was in the audience with us tonight. Their loyal support over the years has helped us put this show on, and we thank them.
And to the Rapster and his Sports Journal scalpers tonight, it's been a blast. You guys did a super job. And to all the viewers who have kept us straight and asked for more, hat go off to you. Thanks for getting us for the Zoot Suits tonight. Good night, and we'll see you next year on Sports Journal Rap. Take us home, baby.